away, literally, a stone throw away. I'm not going to go into Massachusetts because Massachusetts, I'm going to come up here. I'm gonna, you know, of course I'm going to save the sales tax. It's a no-brainer.
New rules leaving residents on the border of New Hampshire and Massachusetts concerned, angry, and confused.
I live in Salem, New Hampshire, and I have kids that live in Massachusetts and family that live in Massachusetts, and a boyfriend that lives in Massachusetts. So how am I supposed to go see them?
After this week's COVID-19 data report, Massachusetts removed Maine and New Hampshire from the list of lower-risk states. That leaves just Hawaii and Vermont. Travelers from those two states won't have to quarantine.
I live in Massachusetts, literally maybe 2.5 miles from here, okay? Right over the line. So if I do a job in New Hampshire, I have to quarantine after that?
Let's try to answer some of your questions. No, you don't. Exemptions include people passing through or briefly stopping at a rest stop, people commuting to work or school and then back home, patients seeking or receiving medical treatment, and military or critical infrastructure personnel. If you do not meet one of those exemptions, you must submit an online travel form. The only other way out is if you can produce a negative COVID-19 test result taken in the last 72 hours.
Okay, so try to find a place that you don't stand in line for 5 hours to try to get a test, and you know, because everybody's taking tests to travel and things like that, but you can't. I tried to find a test for my son, and he was going to go stand in line, and everyone says it's 6 hours. I don't have 6 hours to go stand in line.
If not, plan to separate and quarantine for 14 days or until you receive your negative test.
How are you going to control it? You're going to have a cop sit at the border and stop everybody?
It's unclear exactly how it will be enforced, but those who don't comply could get a $500 fine per day. All right, we only have time for one more question.
How long is this going to be?
Great question. Well, the policy considers data over 2 weeks before moving a state from lower risk to high risk. But some potentially good news. It just takes 1 week to reverse that, to go from high risk to potentially back down to lower risk. Guys?
People fired up about this one, Wale. What about people who need to cross the border for a brief day trip or a run to get errands or groceries?
Yeah, so the state also included some what they call exemptions for critical life activities. We're talking about like groceries. We mentioned doctor's appointments, medical appointments, pharmacies, religious services, funerals, that type of thing. And the thing with all of those critical life activities, you still have to wear a mask, practice social distancing, all the same guidelines. But there are a lot of nuances to these exemptions, guys. So I want you to go to our website, boston25news.com, for those specifics.
Good advice, Wale. Thank you.